Hey, buddy, watch this.
Hello, Regis is the name and Hearthstone is the game, and I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the brand new player experience in Hearthstone, because there's never been a better time to start playing the game than right now. And you might be saying, hey, wait a minute, I thought that game came out like 4 years ago. Why would I start playing it now? Well, it did come out a while ago, and I've been having a ton of fun playing it the entire time. But a brand new patch to Hearthstone has introduced some big changes to the new player experience, and there's all kinds of fun new stuff that's going to make it more enjoyable. It's going to be more rewarding and easier than ever to start playing. So before I get into all the different details of the new player experience in Hearthstone, I just want to clarify this video is not just for brand new Hearthstone players. It's also for seasoned, long-term Hearthstone players as well. Because here's the deal. Hearthstone is best when your friends and your family and even your work colleagues are playing the game alongside you. When you've developed that community and you can share all those different exciting moments that Hearthstone will inevitably create, that's when the game is the most fun. That's when it's most enjoyable. So there's some real advantages to telling people in your life about the game, introducing it to them, and hoping that they start playing it right alongside you. And this video will arm you with the information necessary to convince them, and frankly, you can even send them this video directly so they might learn about the new player experience as well. So I hope even if you're not a new player looking to understand what Hearthstone's all about these days when you first start, you'll still probably get something out of this video, and you might still enjoy watching it. All that said, I think it's time to start walking through this new player experience. I'm gonna show you what you're gonna encounter. I'm gonna talk about the different kinds of rewards and goodies and bonuses you might get along the way. I'm even gonna play a game of Hearthstone for you too, so a lot of fun is about to be had. So any player who starts Hearthstone is first going to encounter this screen, and this is the Hearthstone game box. And just let me warn you now, if you open this up, it's going to be hard to close it again, because lots of fun and chaos and hilarity will be waiting inside. So of course, let's go ahead and open this box and see what it's all about as a brand new Hearthstone player. And I'll tell you, it's been a very long time since I've done this. But it looks like we're going to jump into the Hearthstone tutorial, and that's right, free cards already. And if you didn't know, everybody in Hearthstone starts out with a ton of free cards right off the bat that are part of the basic set. And as you play the game, naturally, you're going to unlock even more cards as a part of the basic set. You don't have to buy the packs. You don't have to get them for mini bonuses. They all just come with experience from the game. And this is the beginning of the tutorial, because of course, if you've never played a card game before, you might be overwhelmed. I actually had never played a real card game like this when I first started playing Hearthstone so long ago. Yes, some people might consider me a bit of an expert today, but I had to start somewhere too. And you'll be surprised how easy it is to catch on and catch up in Hearthstone. It won't take you long to become a little bit of an expert. Just a few months down the line, you might even be competing with people like me. Now, I'm not going to steal the experience of this tutorial from you. We're going to have to play through it in order to see what's behind it and what's next. But I'll go ahead and fast forward through it to save you the experience and let you enjoy this on your own. So now that we've made it through the tutorial, this is the main menu for Hearthstone. This is where you can go into all the different play modes. Now you'll note some of these aren't quite available just yet for a new player. The Tavern Brawl just happens to not be available yet. That's on a rotation throughout the week. But you'll also be able to go down here to your quest log and see the first of many Hearthstone quests that you're going to get throughout your career as a Hearthstone player. This one requiring you to win 5 games in practice mode. That's going to award you with a classic pack. If you beat that, you'll get 2 additional quests as a part of the introductory quest series. The first requiring you to get a class to level 10. That'll award a classic pack. You'll also be asked to complete a game in play mode, because as fun as practice mode is, and it's a good way to get started, play mode is where Hearthstone really becomes the challenge, because you get to play against other human beings, players out there like me. That'll award you a classic pack. And then also finally, the duelist quest will award you 100 gold once you complete an additional 3 games in play mode. And I wanted to go ahead and jump into play mode because part of the big update here to the new player experience in Hearthstone is the addition of some ranks in Hearthstone that didn't used to exist prior to this latest patch. In the past, you started out at rank 25 as a Hearthstone player, but now there are new ranks introduced where you start at rank 50. And from ranks 50 up to rank 26, essentially before you move into 25, you're only going to encounter other players who are brand new to Hearthstone. So this makes the experience far more welcoming. It's a much easier transition to get started. And you might think, man, I have to play through 25 extra ranks just to get into the regular player pool where I compete against all these other people like you, Regis. You do, and that might sound like a slog or a burden, but first off, it's going to be fun, and it's going to be the best way to get you introduced to the game. Beyond that, there are also some crazy exciting new rewards being added to these first 25 ranks as well. Each time you pass a rank threshold of each 5 ranks, so 45, 40, 35, 30, up to 25, you're going to get 3 classic packs awarded for free each time you hit one of those thresholds. And that's a ton of packs along the way. And then when you move up to that rank 25 threshold, you're going to get 10 additional packs as well. What that means is you essentially have a great opportunity to earn a ton of rewards along the way. And you're going to have a really sizable Hearthstone collection just by playing the game. You had to learn and start somewhere. You still do that same experience, but now you get some crazy cool stuff along the way. So let's go ahead and jump into a game at rank 50 and see what it's like. Here I'm just using the one basic deck that's provided at the beginning of the game. Of course, you can go in, open any packs you get from rewards, start to assemble your own deck, go on the internet and find YouTube videos like mine that tell you how to build decks on a budget, and you can start to play those. But you know what? For this new player experience, I think it's just fine to get started with something basic and easy because you're still just trying to learn the game, just trying to experience it. So here we're playing against White Wolf 159 as new Regis at rank 50, and we're gonna mulligan, of course, looking for some cheap cards to start off with. I don't think we really need the Novice Engineer. That's gonna be for card draw later. We really just want to get stats out onto the board to pressure our opponent. And remember, this is not somebody who's going to have a ton of legendaries, probably. This is unlikely to be a really refined deck. This is someone else who's brand new to the game. So if anything, it's maybe a little bit unfair here that I have tons of experience. You won't encounter this often, but most of the time you'll be playing against people who are also new, just looking to learn, have basic cards and basic decks, and we'll probably make some mistakes along the way, but that's how we learn. That's how we improve. That's how we get better. And it's also worth noting here that in particular, when you're playing through these beginner ranks, it's impossible to lose stars. So even if you're absolutely terrible and you feel like you just can't understand what's happening at all, there's no risk. Of course, we're at the bottom right now, but even if you got up to rank 35 or so, you're not going to lose any stars. Wow, that's a powerful opener. Guys, is it possible? Could I lose at rank 50 as a seasoned Hearthstone player and supposed expert? It's possible. Anything can happen, right? But we'll see how it goes. Our opponent making great plays so far, making sound decisions. We're going to get a good minion on board with the Oasis Snapjaw, though, so hopefully this will start to swing things a little bit our way. I don't know exactly what we're going to encounter, but opponent looks like they're a confident and competent Hearthstone player so far. But regardless, this is a low risk, no risk environment. You're eventually going to win games. You're going to get those stars. Of course, I encourage anybody to go out there and, you know, utilize other resources to learn how to play, watch videos, and do all that fun stuff, just so you keep getting better at the game, keep sharpening your skill set. But even if you don't, you're going to learn as you go, and you're just going to make small improvements all the time. Now, we can't use Arcane Missiles against this Gurubashi Berserker, of course. Its effect here, every time it takes damage, it gains tons of attack, and we don't want to do that. So we'll probably wait for it to either trade or go face, and then just fireball it down next turn. Depending on what else he does, we'll see. Might make a scarier minion play, and he makes a pretty big one with the Polar Fist Ogre. He does decide to trade here, it looks like, which is a bit awkward for us. Putting that at 4 is almost worse than putting it at 7, because we don't really want to trade these 2 health minions in, and we still can't really rely on a Arcane Missiles. I guess we'll have to, though. just because we don't really have another play to make. This guy will still stay alive as long as we trade in the right order. If we traded in the other order, the attack would have gotten buffed early, and the Oasis Snapjaw would have died before it made its trade. Oasis Snapjaw. Let me pronounce that word halfway remotely correctly. So a little head on board, but he does have the weapon developed, so that can trade into our 2-1, and then the 6-7s kind of stand alone. We have a bit more health, but of course in Hearthstone, health is not always that important. You can sacrifice health as long as you're gaining an advantage on the board, and that's a great play too. He does decide to go face instead of making a trade. That allows us to potentially fireball and ping that minion. We can also try to fireball and arcane missiles, and I think clearing this is very valuable. If this arcane missiles misses, it doesn't hit this because it is random, we can still ping it down, so it's a pretty low risk play for us to try that, particularly because we had the 1 spare mana crystal anyway to enable me to do all 3 of those things. So now we've started to develop a pretty strong board advantage. He can kill this, but he goes down to 10 health if he utilizes his weapon, which is fairly risky, but his hero power does give him 2 armor, so of course he can gain some of that back and start to cement a lead. I like all these 1 health minions on board. That makes our arcane missiles and our ping much better. Commanding Shout here allows him to trade in his Gnomish Inventor without it taking any damage, or at the very least without it dying, I should say. It does take a little damage, it's just not able to die. And he can use his face to attack, but he decides to use the Korkron Elite instead. Now, see, that's an interesting decision. Debatable whether I would consider that right or not. We don't know his hand, and he certainly doesn't know our deck, so it's hard to say. But a lot of the times you'd use your weapon there and just take the hit to your face and go down to 10, because again, his hero power gives him armor, and that's extra life. So he can afford to sacrifice his life, because now he's given me an incredibly easy way to deal with his board, right? Arcane Missiles is going to clean up at least a couple minions, which is nice, and we'll ping off that last one because it's got a pretty high attack total. And again, we've started to cement the board, but he does have 4 cards in hand and we only have 2. So we are not out of the woods, and we have certainly not won this game yet. Ooh, that's another big minion to deal with. Hope I find a polymorph in my deck. Perhaps we'll have a polymorph. Again, just loading the board. Not getting a lot of hero power value yet, but he probably doesn't need to all that much, and we will again use our hero power as much as we can, force him to make inefficient plays and make value trades on our end where we keep our minions alive while efficiently dealing with his, forcing him to make less than optimal attacks, because now he can use his face. He can also trade into our ogre, but at the very least we can ping back. That looks like it may be an execute. Wow, great plays. Now we are demonstrably behind, and we only have 2 bad cards in hand. So goodness gracious, guys, we're not in a good spot right now. Arcane Explosion helps a little, but not all that much, and we are just totally out of cards. He can hit us for 10 and we're only at 16. He's going to be utilizing his hero power every turn, so I don't think going face with our hero power matters much, because our hero power does not outpace his. He gains 2 and we only deal 1 damage. But this Boulder Fist Ogre is a major problem right now, and he top decks another good card that's just hard to deal with, and it looks like we're just gonna get smorked down. Smork being attacks that all go face. We're gonna need a miracle here, maybe like a Flame Strike? I don't know what's in this deck, but we need something desperate, and that is not it, guys. We are gonna lose. We're dead. we are dead. Gratz White Wolf playing like an absolute boss, going face, not respecting the board, smorking us down, and finding the win at rank 50. I lost my rank 50 game. I am a rank 50 Hearthstone player. Now, you might be saying, whoa, I'm a new player, and how can I win at rank 50 if this guy who makes YouTube videos and he's a streamer and, you know, he's an expert supposedly, he's losing games at rank 50, how can I win? Well, don't worry, that opponent played well. It just sometimes it's not in the cards. You're not going to win every game in Hearthstone. That's okay. If you win a little more than half of your games, you're doing a good job. So it's all right that we lost. That's not a sign that you're going to fail. You will gain stars, you will climb ranks, and eventually you're going to be a great Hearthstone player. And whether you win or lose, you're still getting experience. You'll note here that our mage is now almost halfway through level 2. And again, leveling that up is good for quests. It's good for unlocking cards. And eventually you can max all your heroes and get lots of golden cards, which are nice kind of visually exciting cards added to your account as well. So now that we've played a game and lost a game, I want to show you a few other things that I think will be helpful for new players to consider. So first off is the new welcome bundle that's been added to the game. Now previously there's a welcome bundle in Hearthstone. This is a new version of the welcome bundle. And what you're gonna get here is the most efficient way to ever spend money on Hearthstone. Now you can play Hearthstone totally for free. Lots of people do it successfully. They hit legend ranks. You don't have to buy packs to be a competitive Hearthstone player, no matter what anybody tells you. But if you wanna get a fast start and you wanna get an instant infusion of packs and a guaranteed legendary, the welcome bundle here in the shop is the best way to do that. For only $5, you get 10 classic packs, which, by the way, that's a great deal alone, but you also get a guaranteed legendary dragon from Hearthstone, and there are 6 cards in the pool here for these legendaries, and most of them are very good competitive cards, so you have a very high likelihood of getting something that's going to greatly and drastically improve your collection instantly and be a card that you can not only play now, but for the foreseeable future in Hearthstone as a part of the classic set. These cards are going to be around forever, so the welcome bundle is absolutely a fantastic bargain, and of course you can also go in and buy packs from the classic set, or the latest expansion, the Boomsday Project, if you want, or any other expansion currently in standard format. I would recommend the Witchwood and Boomsday Project packs as an emphasis now, because they will stay in the standard format rotation longer than the previous packs. You don't have to know about standard format and wild format right now. You can learn all that along the way. Just something to consider as you move through the shop. So all that said, there's a couple other things I want to talk about here, and those all start with your friends list. So of course, if you have a new account, you might not have any friends, but you can quickly find other people who play Hearthstone. You can go online to forums, you can come to my Twitch stream or YouTube channel, and you'll find all kinds of people willing to be your friends. And once you do that, there are a couple handy things that you can do to earn extra rewards, but also just have a great time playing Hearthstone. So first off is there's this recruit friends option. If you do this, you follow this process, you recruit somebody else to the game, whether you're, again, new or returning, you can unlock this amazing Morgul the Oracle portrait. You also get some rewards for doing this. So if you click this button and follow those steps, that's a great way to get started in Hearthstone and get other people started in Hearthstone right alongside you. Beyond that, if you do have someone in your friends list, there's a great feature where if you challenge them to a match, you can of course just challenge your friends for fun. If you do that, they can actually share their decks with you. So you don't have to have the cards or own the cards. If you have a Hearthstone friend out there who's been playing a long time and you want to experiment and try some awesome decks that they have on hand, you just challenge them, they can share their deck with you, and you can play all kinds of crazy fun stuff. So there you have it. That's all you need to know to get started with Hearthstone. Of course, you're going to encounter all kinds of other questions and amazing experiences and all sorts of stuff I couldn't cover in this short video, but that's why I'm here. That's why all these other great content creators are out there. You can always reach out to us with any questions. The Blizzard team is always there to help too, so it's a great community in Hearthstone. You're going to have a wonderful time. It's better than ever, truly, to get started right now. It's the perfect time. You can catch up, you can have tons of fun, you can be competitive. Whatever you want from the game, it's all a possibility right now, and it's never been cheaper, more efficient, even free to do it than it has today. So I encourage you to start. Come join us, and we're all gonna have lots and lots of fun. All that said, I can't wait to see you out there in the game. I can't wait to lose to you, much like I lost to my rank 50 opponent. But until then, thank you so very much for watching, and until next time, game on.